Welcome to Crafting in the Chaos. My name is Ashley, and today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful picture frame lantern with a gorgeous waterfall scene inside of it. Now, I just wanted to let you all know I do have 4 children, hence the name Crafting in the Chaos, because my house is chaos all the time. But they're in the other room watching movies, so you might hear a little bit of background noise. So this lantern that we're going to make today should cost you around $20, depending on which materials you have. It should be between $20 and $30. This is a very time-consuming project, which I found out during prep, because it took me a couple hours to get everything together that I need to accomplish this project, but it's going to be so worth it in the end. It's going to turn out absolutely gorgeous. So let's get started. So to begin our lantern, we're going to start with the base. Now this is where you're going to use your 8x10 canvas and your jenga blocks. With my lantern, I already made my base. So here is what your base will look like when you're done. Okay, so I painted mine gold because my lantern is going to be gold, and I also painted my Jenga blocks gold. Now, all I did here was I glued my Jenga pieces together, and then I put them on the board. But I also cut my canvas. I had to cut so the lantern, the main part of the lantern will fit exactly to this base. So as you can see, I cut about 1 7/8 inches off. That'll fit my lantern directly on top of it. There will be no overhang or anything like that. And then with the Jenga blocks, I also made a small compartment for your battery pack to go for your lights. So your lights, once we get everything hooked up and ready to go, your battery pack will just slide right in just like that, and you can see your switch, because this will be the front. This is the front of your lantern. Nobody will see your battery pack hanging out back here, and you can just flip it on and turn your lights on and off whenever you need to. And it's also easy accessible. You just grab it and slide it out, and you can change the batteries. Now I took the plastic piece off that goes right here over top of the batteries because it would not fit in that compartment. Okay, so now we're going to work on the main part of the lantern. So we have our picture frames here. As you can see, I painted them gold. They were a copperish, kind of antique gold looking color, but I painted my gold. And you're also going to want to break off the little black tabbies that are in the back. I don't know if you can see that. You want to break those off, because if you don't, you're going to see them through the glass in your lantern. So what I did was I glued my glass into my picture frame. So we're going to do that right now. So once you have all 4 glass panes glued in, you're going to want to start to put it together. So this is where your masking tape will come into play. There's my background noise. This is where the masking tape will come into play. And you just want to start off by putting 2 together, and then the rest will follow. So let's get these going here. Okay, so once you have everything taped up, then you're going to want to glue it. Now, when you're gluing, you don't want to just glue one side and let it sit. You want to try and get all 4 pieces together as quickly as possible, because once your glue dries, you're not going to be able to line these edges back up, and it's going to not set right once that glue hardens. So you definitely want to glue all 4 pieces together as quickly as possible. So we're going to start that right now. And there you have your glued frame. Now there is a little bit of excess glue on here, but you can always just peel that right off. It's not going to affect the glue on the inside. So if you see any excess glue on your seams, just go around and, you know, just peel it off. It's not going to affect the glue that's on the inside. Okay, so the next part is you want to take your main piece and set it on top of your base, because we need to determine where your floral blocks are going to go, because this is going to be the platform that lifts up your waterfall scenery. So we're going to put this on the base and line her up. Let's line that up real nice. Okay, and then you're going to take your foam blocks and we're going to put them inside. Now you want to leave a slight gap between the glass and your block, because you're going to want to put the moss or the grass down in between here so you don't see these foam blocks. But you're going to want to put them in here. I think they go this way. Now the back of your lantern, it doesn't matter if there's grass back there or not, because nobody's going to see. Okay, now once you get your foam pieces set, you're going to carefully lift this off, because you don't want to bump the foam. And you're going to want to try and glue these pieces down as accurately as possible, because this is the platform that your waterfall scenery is going to sit on. So let's glue these down real quick. Okay, so once you get those glued down, you want to take your frame and put them back over top just to make sure everything fits perfectly. You gotta make sure you have your gaps and everything, which you should. I mean, if you want, you can take a marker and you can mark where you want your blocks to be, but you definitely want to have these gaps that are in between here and here, because this is where your lights are gonna go. So I forgot to mention this in the description, but you're also going to need your 2 panes of 5x7 glass, because I had another 8x10, but it was too big to fit into the base part. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to put this back over just like this. Okay, so your glass frames, I glued mine together right here, which is okay because you won't see the seam once it's painted. I don't know if you can see it, it's right here, but you won't see that seam at all once it's painted and all the glue, rocks and everything are glued on, but it fits perfectly inside of here just like this. See? It fits perfect. So, turn that a little bit. But it fits perfectly right here inside. And that's what our waterfall and everything is going to sit on. Okay, so before we finish putting moss and everything on the base, we're going to work on the waterfall part. So this part, you're going to need your paper towel roll, which you're going to cut in half and paint it black. You're going to need your Leprechan Pot, which I put a touch of silver on mine to make it kind of look a little aged. You're going to need your rocks for this one, which you're going to need the whole bag. You're also going to need your clear tape, your glue gun, and your paints. So this part is where we're going to make the scenery for the waterfall. So let's get started. There we go. There's our pillar for now. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the stream. So after you get your pillar done with your cauldron on top, you're going to want to make a layout of what you want your stream or your little pond to look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a half a pond, and then there's going to be a small stream that comes off of it. So we're going to attempt to do that. And there we go. That's what we have so far. So now we're going to mix up some paint, and we are going to paint this part the blue. And we can add green on this one, but I'm actually going to put the moss on this part, so we don't have to paint it. But if you wanted to, you can paint it and then put the moss on. It doesn't matter either way, but I'm not going to. So we're going to paint this real quick. Okay, so the colors that I have chosen out to try and do the water is Tropical Blue, and these are all Walmart paints. So Tropical Blue, Bahama Blue, we have Turquoise, Atlantis, Electric Blue, and then we have Snow White. So I have all 6 colors here. I'm just going to mix and match until I can get the perfect color that I want for my stream. So here we go. I think that looks good for right now, because we are going to use more paints here after we get the glue in there. So now we're ready to move on to the next step, which would be to put the green moss on, and then we will make the waterfall. Now that we have everything in place for the rocks and we have everything painted, now we're going to do the moss. Now I have this kind of moss here from Walmart. It was only like $3 or something. It was in the clearance aisle. I have an obsession with the clearance aisle. So we're going to take these pieces of moss here that we have. We're going to piece them together on the remaining glass part here. So get that started. So now we're going to add the tape that goes from the cauldron to this. And the reason for the tape is so the glue will go from here down to here without like making a huge mess or leaving a gap. So that's where your clear tape comes into effect. Clear tape. I'm going to turn this around to just to place it, and then I will turn it back around when I'm done. So we have the tape on. You can see this is what it looks like here. And now we're going to add the glue, and the glue should just run straight down the tape. So make sure you have extra glue sticks sitting out because you're definitely going to need them. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but it made a perfect waterfall right there. Look at how gorgeous that's going to look. And then we're going to paint it. And I put a little extra glue down here because it's the white, like the white rapids part of the waterfall. So I'll be painting this like a bluish white, and then this will match this blue here. And we're also going to put hot glue from all the way up here the whole way down. And it's going to really make that water look real. And then you're going to want to put a little bit more glue in the cauldron to make it look like there's water coming out of it. Okay, and then you just let it dry, and once it's dry, then we can paint again. Okay, so after we have everything dried, now we want to add a little bit of paint to the glue. Get my little moss out of there. Okay, so we just want to add some paint just to make it pop a little bit more. So this is what we have so far. So the next part that we're going to do is we are going to add this to our base, but the first thing we need to do to our base is add the moss. So let's move on to that. Okay, so now we're going to add the moss. I thought gluing it on the sides here and here was going to work, but as you can see, I've had to tear it off because it did not work properly. So don't glue it on the sides before you put the frame on. So what we're going to do first is we are going to put the main part of the lantern on first. We're going to line it up, and then we're going to stuff the moss because that will work much better. And you don't have to glue it because it's not going anywhere. I apologize, everyone. I had a technical difficulty with the camera, but as you can see, I stuffed the front and the sides with moss. I did not do the back because no one's going to see the back. So this is what you want it to look like before you put your lights in and your waterfall on. So we're going to do the lights real quick. Okay, now that we added the lights, now we're going to add our waterfall scenery. It should fit very snug in there. Just like that. Let me lift this up a little bit. Sorry, y'all. Tip this up a little. There we go. Okay. So there it is. So far, we're not done yet. We still have a little bit more to go. But so far, this is what it looks like. Look at how beautiful that looks. Let's turn the light on. It's hard to see with my dining room light on, but it looks so pretty right now. I cannot wait for you guys to see this when I shut the lights off. But so far, this is what we got. And now we're going to move on to the lid. So I forgot to add the greenery into the waterfall scene, so I'm going to do that real quick. I have to point the camera down, so give me 1 second. Okay, so for the greenery, I'm just going to place a couple pieces. Now we're going to put on the final touches, which would be the lid and then the bow on the lid. Okay, so for the lid, you're going to need your 2 5x7 frames, your 4x6 frame, and one of your bowls. You're also going to need your pipe cleaners and your little shower ring. Now, I painted this shower ring gold. I painted the bowl gold. And this picture frame was actually silver, and I painted it gold. So what we're going to do is we're going to piece this together. So we're going to start with the 5x7. This is your base. The other 5x7, you want to take the cardboard that was in it. This is just the cardboard backing. This is where where you would hang it from the back. You're going to put this, you're going to paint this other side, whatever color your lantern is, and you're going to place it in here and clip it in. So it looks like this. Okay. And then you're going to set this on top like so. And you're going to glue this all together so it sits just like that. So let's get that glued. Now we are going to take our gold bowl and we are going to set this in the middle. Now we don't need to attach this down or anything right at the moment because this frame is going to go on over top of it. If you see, it sits pretty flush with everything. And once you do that, like this won't move. See, it's in there pretty good. Now before we do this, we have to put our ring on. So what we need to do is we need to get holes put in the top of this and feed the pipe cleaners through with the ring so that it sits on top just like this. So we're going to do that real quick. Now, how I have done this is I will take my tip of my glue gun and I'll set it right on there, and it should melt right through. But you want to make sure you got that excess glue off. But it should be hot enough to where if you push hard enough, you'll hear that crack. And it should just melt straight through. See that? See that? That's just one side though. And then I take my scissors and just poke the hole the rest of the way and make the circle. Okay, so there's one side. You're not going to see this though because the bow is going to go in front of this. So, okay, now I got to get the other side. You want to do exactly the same thing on this side. Just pop it. Hear that crack. You don't want to push too hard because if you crack the bowl, you have to make a new bowl. Okay. And then you just take your scissors and finish off the hole. There you go. You got 2 holes. Okay. And now you're going to attach your pipe cleaner to your shower curtain rod, or your shower curtain ring. You want to do a pipe cleaner on each side. So you want to twist that on. Try and, so I can do this so you all can see. Okay, you want to do one side and do the other side. Okay, and then you're going to want to feed the pipe cleaners through the hole. And then once you do this, you want to make sure it's snug against this, and then you're gonna twist these together. See how I twisted it together in there? Okay, and then you're gonna just cut off the excess. And there you go. And now just remember, like this, you're not going to see these pipe cleaners because the bow, there's going to be a bow here in the front. So this is what this will look like. So moving on. Okay, you put this back in the center. And I mean, it doesn't have to be dead center or anything, but once you put the other frame on, it will kind of center itself, because it's not gonna go anywhere. It's pretty snug in there. So once you get this where you need it to go and where you want it to be, you're going to glue it down. You're not going to glue this piece. You're going to just glue the frame, because the frame will hold the bowl in. So let's get this frame glued up. Okay, now also when you make your bow, it's going to be a big bow. It's going like, it's literally going right here, the whole way across here. So you're not really going to see this. You're not really going to see this. You're not going to see this gap at all. It's just going to be the bow to make it a little more decorative. Okay, so for your bow, you could have a pre-made bow made. I made mine out of burlap. I can show you a tutorial in the future, but this is the bow that I just made to put on the lid. So there's that. And then we're just going to attach the bow. Make sure I got the right side here. Yep. Back that up just a smidge. And then when it's on, you can fluff it and adjust it however you need to do it. But that's the bow, and that would be our final touch. Okay, there's our final touch. So now I'm going to show you the final product. And this is our final product. Look at how beautiful that is. There it is with the lights off. Look at the water glow. Oh, that looks fantastic. We're all done. And we are done. Doesn't that look absolutely gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. It turned out so much better than I was expecting. Now remember, if you're going to do this project, you need plenty of time ahead of you, because this video may only be minutes, but this project literally took me hours. But it was totally worth it. It looks so pretty. I cannot wait to display this thing. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my future projects, because I have a lot more coming.